I do believe the difficult part for Brady here is that race does come into play, because it's going to seem as a white man who is analyzing football is questioning the work ethic of a black player, right? Which we all can't do because we can't put ourselves in Deshaun's place. But I think to take it to the massage thing and make a joke, I think when Brady Quinn makes a joke about the massage situation and accusations, it's disrespectful on many levels. It's disrespectful to the women who are involved in that situation.
Yeah.
If they have been through what you're suggesting they've been through, because to make that joke, it seems as if you're criticizing Deshaun or putting him in that place of being wrong. So if he is wrong, then there's someone who had to be wronged in that situation. And so now it's disrespectful to those young ladies. On the other side, it's also disrespectful to Deshaun Watson in the sense that it hasn't been proven he's done any of these things. And so now, as someone who is respected as doing their job with a certain level of professionalism, which he told me on the phone when we talked about C.J. Stroud and casting aspersions on his character as well, right? He does. And I do think he's good on TV. And so now this is, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I'm going to be honest, I don't pay attention to him enough to know how he critiques the character of white quarterbacks. So maybe there is times where he's casting aspersions on them as well. But I know this is 2 black quarterbacks. And I think that's the problem. When you start to do your job by assessing the character of the man, right, not the success or production of the player. And we can't do that when we do our job. And it's really getting to a point of being disrespectful for Brady.
I'm not really sure what's wrong with Ryan Clark. Does he say this stuff specifically when he plays the race card? Is he doing it because he has a predominantly black audience, or is he doing it because he wants to court a predominantly black audience? Doesn't make any sense to me. This is the same guy who on national TV made fun of Tua and saying Tua had a big butt and that he wasn't eating right and he wasn't training right. And it was funny all over ESPN, and he was cutting jokes about him. And he's mad because Brady Quinn did the same thing about Deshaun Watson. Did he not remember that all you guys, everybody on ESPN, everybody doing YouTube videos, all we are entertainers. We're giving our opinion on something that we see in the news. When I started making these videos, nobody gave me a manual and said, hey, listen, you can talk about these things, but don't you go here. Don't talk about black people. Don't talk about white people. You got to stay right here. You got to stay right in the middle. Don't vary your content whatsoever. Now, I've been told that about Tua. People are like, oh, you can't talk about the left arm of God. Can't go there. Whatever. But what I'm saying is, Ryan Clark did the exact same thing with Tua Tagovailoa. He made fun of Tua Tagovailoa on the air. Basically called him fat and out of shape. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He actually said that. Compared his butt to a stripper at Onyx. Most of us, got a chuckle out of it. We understood it was a joke. But what you've done here by telling Brady Quinn he's racist, that's not a joke, man. You're taking a shot at somebody's character. You're saying that a white analyst, a white reporter, isn't allowed to criticize a black player. Think about what you're saying. Yet on the other side of the coin, can black journalists critique a white player? I mean, can, someone like you critique Tom Brady, or is it off limits because, you're black and he's white? You can't talk about him. Does it make any sense to anybody why you would say that Brady Quinn is off limits to talking about Deshaun Watson? Now, what was really funny, and I'll play the clip here, that Brady Quinn wasn't talking out of step whatsoever. It's absolutely true. Deshaun Watson got $230 million guaranteed, every single dime, And he's choosing when and when not to play. Nobody's judging why. I don't think myself or even Brady Quinn, I'm not sticking up for Brady Quinn, but I didn't hear him say anything beyond the pale. He didn't say that Deshaun Watson was a fraud. He didn't say Deshaun Watson was stealing from the Cleveland Browns. Didn't say that at all. He just said it's very odd that right now the only way he can play is when he decides he wants to play. There's no medical clearance. There's no doctor that's saying, hey, Deshaun, you're good, get in the game. No. All the decisions are based upon Deshaun Watson. Listen right here.
He's actually the one that's basically reporting on his health to the media, which I find to be peculiar.
Everyone else with a medical opinion just clears him pretty much. I mean, it's like, well, it's kind of similar to this. You get a kid who gets a trust fund, right? $230 million. Then he's like, hey, you want to go out and get a job? He's like, not really.
No.
I've got $230 million coming. I'm good. That's what it kind of feels like. Like it's human nature, by the way, too. For if you won the lotto and you end up netting $230 million, because we always talk about the Powerball and all that, like you'd probably be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm probably not gonna do this anymore, right?
So you're saying I don't have to really play anymore? Like That's what we're saying, Deshaun.
And look, Stefanski was saying afterwards that he was cleared of the concussion they checked him for a concussion. He was cleared, and then it was Stefanski that just decided not to put him in the game because he wanted to protect his franchise quarterback, which were the words, "I want to protect my franchise quarterback." It's like, okay, then why did he suit up? Like, if that's the case, why is he playing at all?
Hey man, the Browns are going to make a run with P.J. Walker starting as their quarterback for the majority of this year, and their $230 million starting quarterback on the bench.
Chilling. The trust fund baby's just chilling.
That's an expensive backup quarterback.
Hey, while you can have whatever opinion you may want to have on it, he has maybe single-handedly ruined,
by the way,
the opportunity of any other player ever getting, and I mean ever.
Every owner's like, Exhibit A. This is exactly why we're not giving you guaranteed money.
When I said don't ever come around here again, like never ever come around here again asking for a guaranteed contract.
Now, what's really interesting, if you listen to that clip, you heard three voices. One of the voices was obviously Brady Quinn. Another of the voices was the host, Jonas Knox, I believe his name. And the other voice, the one who gave the most joking about it, who laughed most heartily, was Lavar Arrington. In case you don't know, Lavar Arrington is black. He's always been black, always will be black. Lavar Arrington from Penn State, awesome linebacker. He is a black man, and he's calling out Deshaun Watson and saying Deshaun Watson has ruined the ability for other people to get guaranteed contracts in the future. What the interesting part is, in the entire tirade that Ryan Clark went through, the entire statement that he made on his show, The Pivot, which I actually like The Pivot, in the entirety of that show, he did not mention Lavar Arrington one time. It was all Brady Quinn. Notice Brady Quinn spoke in that 3-minute clip or so, just a slight bit. Lavar Arrington basically drove the commentary. Didn't mention Lavar Arrington once. Ryan Clark completely ignored Lavar Arrington. Why is that? Because it's okay for a black commentator to talk about a black player. You are defining racism at that point. Not Brady Quinn's, yours. You are saying, hey, Brady, this is a FUBU moment. This is for us, by us. Keep your white mouth shut. And by the way, Lavar Arrington, he's one of us, so he's okay to talk. Those are your rules. You just showed us that those are the rules that you defined. You said, Lavar Arrington, go ahead, say whatever you want about Deshaun Watson. Brady, gonna have to stop you. Take your white ass, sit down and STFU. We don't want to hear it from you. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Now you're telling me that Marcus Spears can only talk about black players. Dan Orlovsky can only talk about white players. Mina Kimes, I don't know who you're going to let her talk about. Greeny, I don't get it. What are you trying to say here by saying that he's being racist? We watch you on television all the time. You talk about whatever player you want to talk about whenever you want to talk about them. This is sports commentary. It can be color commentary, as it's sometimes called. You've been doing a great job of it, but don't bring race into it, man. It just demeans the entire integrity of journalism. I don't even know if we can call it journalism anymore. It's just really bad. I think it was a really bad take for you to come in and single out a white guy who's on a broadcast with a black gentleman. That just made it worse. It makes you look like you're just doing it to cater to a black audience. I am sick of people trying to cater to the black audience. It's like you're condescending, like we're not smart enough, that people can't discern for themselves, that they need to be talked to only by another black person. That sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. So I know you probably don't watch this, and if you did, you'd probably tell me I'm full of crap or whatever. But those are your words. When I do my show here, I listen to the words that people say. And you are basically saying that Brady Quinn has no right to speak about Deshaun Watson, but Lavar Arrington can. If that's not racism, tell me the definition of racism. Because if only one person can say this and only one person can say that, I'm pretty sure when I grew up where they said this is a whites only counter to eat and this is a blacks only counter to eat, that was specifically racism. If I couldn't go, I mean, I'm too young, so it didn't affect me. But if our grandparents couldn't go into a restaurant because it was whites only, that's how the separation was enforced. You are in fact enforcing that separation. White guys over here, black guys over here, and neither shall the twain meet. That's what you're saying. That's really wrong, Ryan. It's dangerous, especially in a sports world where there are so many black athletes, where you are now telling people that you're not qualified to judge a black athlete because you are white. That's BS, man. Let me know what you guys think about Ryan Clark playing the race card. Am I overreacting, or is he indeed just a dunce for even saying that about Brady Quinn?